What is up, brawlers? Welcome back to another episode of Throwing Hands. It's been like 2 months, and I apologize. Um, I've been going through a lot, purse. Let me rephrase that. Ooh, I haven't really been going through too much. Like I'm good. I'm good. I'm here. I'm doing this. I'm happy to be here. Nothing's bad with me myself. Jarrett's busy, and I decided to do this on a whim because I wanted to do an episode. I'm looking to get to 200 before the end of the summer, and damn it, I'm getting there. But like I've had counseling and stuff, work, internship. It's been a lot, and I've just been trying to figure out my schedule throughout the summer, so it's been a little tough. However, I think I've got it figured out. Um, and I do believe that Throwing Hands will be back twice weekly for the rest of the summer. And we'll get to 200 sooner than you know it. So let's get to this card. We're gonna preview Fight Night, Vettori versus Cannonier. And guys, don't worry, I've been watching every weekend. The one weekend I kind of missed was the Cejudo Sterling card, but I got the main event. I had a birthday party that night, so your boy has to get out and rage sometimes. You feel me? But let's take a look at this main card here. Nicholas Dalby versus Muslim Salikov. Salikov finishing off Fialio in his last fight, and Dalby, I think he finished Alves or something. I don't know. He beat him by split decision. This is a really fun fight, I think, in the welterweight division. Also, this whole card, top to bottom, you know, people who watch this might be like, oh, everyone who says like there's a bad card, right? They're like, oh, it's great for hardcores. This one's pretty good for hardcores, I think. Let's take a look at Jimmy Flick. He's always fun to watch fight. Kyung Ho Kong, great fighter. Um, let's take a look here. This will be a fun fight. This bantamweight bout. Oh, you gotta love the bantamweights. And I don't know why this isn't on the main card, but I guess they just had to get some people into to hook some people onto the card. So a very interesting fight here. Both these guys can do anything they want on the feet and on the ground. Um, Salikov is the favorite, minus 180. It's it's really interesting. I'm having a really tough time here, but I think I'm gonna go with Salikov. Um, he he was around that top 15 area for a while. I think he might be looking to go back into it. All right, this fight is fun. Manuel Torres versus Nicholas Mata. Nicholas Mata was on Throwing Hands a couple years ago, guys. So go check out that interview. Great guy. The audio's kind of effed up, but if you could stand it, it's a good interview. I just had to put it out there. But both these guys love to finish. Torres can get it done on the feet and on the ground, and Mata can. I think all of his wins are most of his wins are by knockout, if I'm not mistaken. Um, yeah, 2/3 of his wins are by knockout, but he does have good groundwork. I think people really did. What's the word? Um, don't overlook that part of him, but he really can grapple. But Torres can grapple and get you out. I mean, it's basically half and half. I think he has 1 or 2 wins by decision. So, and Torres's output is insane. 10 significant, 11 if you round up significant strikes landed per minute, and he lands at a 55% success rate. So, Moda's gonna have a tough time because if he takes us to the ground, Torres is gonna be very adept there. And if he keeps on the feet, he doesn't have the speed advantage by any means. Mata can defend strikes well, but I don't. It's a tough road for him. And I think who did Mota? He lost to Jim Miller in his debut. I'm pretty sure. Man, the prospect killer, Jim Miller. Jim Miller, the prospect killer. There's a little bit of a ooh. I get why they call him that. There's a little bit of a meter to it. But anyway, oh, in the background behind me, that'll change. I'm moving in a month. So I don't know. This would be a great fight. It's really a toss up for me. I'd love to go with Mota, but I think Manuel Torres wins. Great fight though. This is a Dana White. If you don't know, now you know. Shout out Dana White. This is a fun fight. Really fun fight. Pat Sabatini, you gotta love him. Um, especially if you're a ground guy. Honestly, I think Pat Sabatini is really fun to watch on the ground, and Lucas Almeida too. He hasn't fought in a minute, I don't think. I think it's been over a year. Yeah, it's been just over a year actually. He defeated Trezano by knockout in the third round. But this is it. Really, it depends where this goes. If it stays standing, Almeida got it. If it goes to the ground, Sabatini probably has it. But Almeida's no slouch on the ground either. He could probably catch Sabatini in submission. Sabatini really should not stand with this guy, I don't think. I don't think it'd be wise for him to do so. I can go Lucas Almeida. I think he wins by decision because I think Sabatini's a tough guy. So it'll and Almeida tends to keep the fight going. So, but all of his wins are by finish. So we'll see what happens. Fun fight, fun fight, fun fight. Iron Petrosian, the first Armenian of the night of the main card. He great kickboxer. He beat RoboCop, pretty sure, by split. And Christian Leroy Duncan has been around the promotion very much because I'm gonna be honest, I didn't do too much research. This was kind of out on a whim to do this one, but he did beat Dusko Todorovic by KO TKO. I want to say this about Todorovic, honestly. I expected more from him coming into this. I know you're like, Jacob, really? Yeah. When he was on Contender Series, I was like, was he on Contender Series or who'd he beat? Oh, I gotta look this up now. I'm sorry, guys. Um, he he beat Daquan Townsend, I think. Yeah, Daquan Townsend. Yeah. I am looking at his thing, and he beat him by KO in the second round, and it was on Fight Island. I remember it was on the Holly Holm card. I'm pretty sure. Wait, that'd be an absolute grab if I remember that correctly. Then Penaheli Soriano. I mean, he never got a break. But he lost to Leroy Duncan back in March on the he either lives by the sword or dies by the sword. Wins by KO or gets knocked out. But anyway, back to Armin Petrosian versus Christian Leroy Duncan. I think Petrosian gets it done. I like his kickboxing game. So yeah, I think he beats Leroy Duncan by decision, but it'll be a fun fight. Leroy Duncan, I think he does like to go into the fire a little bit. Can we get somebody? Let's be honest here. Can we get somebody to please fight Armin Petrosian in the top 15? No discredit to Joaquim Silva, but come on, he is unranked. If you bet $100 on this guy, you win like $1, maybe something like that. I'm not sure, but if you bet 100 on Silva, you win 700 if you're a betting type. But anyway, Armin Sarukian. People say he won that fight against Gamrot. It was very close. I thought Mateusz Gamrot won. Probably in the minority there. I'm also Polish, so I'm biased. I don't know if you guys are, but when you see someone of your ethnic background win, you're proud to be from there, be part of that. It's not a bad thing to have a little bias. Like I'm part Italian too. I'm gonna root for Marvin Vettori because he's Italian, man. I love that dude. But anyway, so Armin Sarukian's ground game might be the best in the division. And there's Charlie Olives, there's Islam Makachev, there's Benil Dariush. Although that got disproven last Saturday. But I think Sarukian submits him in like the first or the second round. And if you look at who Armin Sarukian's fought, I think he fought Damir Ismagulov in his last fight back in February. No, it was back in December. Ismagulov, oh man, such a disappointment. He'll have to retire. Then he lost to Gamrot in a very razor thin fight. Um, he demolished Christos Yagos. I remember that. I mean, Christos Yagos, gotta give him credit. Oh, and was it Joel Alvarez? Yeah. Joel Alvarez isn't a bum. Got him out of there in the second round. Yeah, and he can strike too. Sarukian's really good, guys. He's phenomenal. I think he might become champ one day. He has that potential. But I think he makes quick work. But let's take a look at the rankings. If he wins, Beneil Dariush has to be the next move. If Beneil doesn't take that fight, I'm not going to be happy. But if he takes pretty much anything that's thrown at him, honestly. I love Beneil. I've been on the Beneil train for a hot minute. I love Beneil. He's great. Shout out Beneil Dariush. Man of God. But Arman Sarukian, I think he takes this easily. But let's go to this middleweight bout. Great fight for a fight night. 3 versus 4. Vettori versus Cannonier. I love both these guys, man. Cannonier, you can't blink when you watch this dude fight because if he cracks your chin, you're out of there. His last 2 fights were Sean Strickland. That fight could have gone either way. And Israel Adesanya, very good fighter. Some people argue that he beat Adesanya. It was boring. Everyone lost that night, guys. Right? Everyone lost that night. And then I think before that he fought Kelvin Gastelum, and then Brunson. Oh yeah, that's right. Threw in the towel. Before that he fought Calvin Gastelum, and then Whitaker, and then yeah. I've only seen him fight 5 times. Feels like he's fought more. Crazy. Anyway, I'm talking about since the inception of this podcast. But Marvin Vettori, man, I remember watching him. Was it I versus Calvillo when he submitted Carl Roberson? That was the first time I ever watched him fight. I got into MMA around March 2020, guys. February 2020. Jones versus Reyes was the fight that hooked me. Oddly enough, next day had a meeting podcast. At a meeting, threw this idea out there. This became my podcast. So, anyway, Marvin Vettori. But when Marvin Vettori earned my respect, it was when he fought Paulo Costa. If Vettori had pulled out of that fight, I couldn't blame him for doing that. You couldn't blame him for doing that. If you remember what it was a weight debacle. Paulo Costa didn't want to cut weight. It was originally going to be put at a catch weight of 195, and then it got moved up to 205. And Vettori actually held the record until Jamal Hill broke it in January for most significant strikes landed in a 5-round light heavyweight fight. Here's the thing, man. Jared Cannonier, Vettori has the advantage on the ground. I think we all agree on that. He's a good kickboxer too. Not great. He's good. But on the ground, Vettori, he also has the most takedowns in a fight for middleweight, I'm pretty sure too. Yeah, Vettori's underrated. But Jared Cannonier has to land perfectly, and Marvin Vettori, he's gonna have to cover it up, because if Vettori sees it coming, he's either gonna block it or brace for it, and you're not gonna knock him out. He ate Paulo Costa's head kicks for breakfast. I don't know how he did that. But great fight. I'm really looking forward to this one. Can't wait to get back from my internship that night and just watch this fight because it's gonna be awesome. But this is a tough one. I'm gonna go Vettori by decision. Vettori doesn't really finish. I think his last UFC finish was Carl Roberson. When he does finish it, he finishes in the first round. So if you want to bet on Vettori finishing, bet the first round. Probably by submission, but I don't know. Interesting place this middleweight division's in. Like, Whitaker's fighting Duplessis. Whitaker, please win. Please win. I love you, Bobby Knuckles. Please win. Paulo Costa's fighting some dude outside the top 15. I can't remember his name. I apologize for that, but I want to talk about last week real quick. Nunes versus Aldana. I want to talk about some of those fights on the card. And of course, I want to talk about Amanda Nunes. Amir Albazi, Kai Car France. I was tired. For some reason, I thought Albazi won, but when I look back at it, Kai Car France won that fight. I love Amir Albazi. I think he become champ. Honestly, 100%. I think he can. It's entirely possible, as Joe Rogan would say, but I really do think he could become champ. It just matters when or if he can. I don't know, just string some stuff together. Roy Val might be the next move, although Roy Val should get the title shot. We'll get to Nunes last. Man, Eric Anders, I wanted you to win, big dog. Oh, Chris Curtis. Ugh. Let's talk about this dude. Bad luck. Feel bad for him. He was on his way to losing. I mean, Imamov was piecing him up pretty badly, and then he took him to the ground. I mean, Imamov is really good. I think that's Strickland. Strickland's just such a weird fighter that you can't really prepare for him on like 5 days' notice. So that's why I think he lost. If he had a full training camp, he would have demolished Strickland, in my opinion. But Chris Curtis, man, can't catch a break. It was the Gaslam headbutt. I can't stand Chris Curtis. I think he's the sorest. He's one of the most sore losers in the UFC. Just take the L, bro. It's okay. This is a sport where Habib, if he kept going, he would have lost. But he decided to hang it up. I gotta respect the guy for it. John Jones, he hasn't lost. John Jones is an anomaly, guys. Just accept the fact that he is an anomaly because no one else. If you watch that fight against Cyril Gane, when I watched it, I remember at the end realizing when I turned off the fight, it was like, I will never see greatness like that again. That's all I'm gonna say. We'll see what else there is. Jazudavakis, very good fighter. Ayman Zahabi, great fighter. He looked great in that fight. Knocked Alric Lang out. Shout out to Kyle Nelson. Oh, here we go. David Dvorak versus Steve Erceg. Mate, the Aussie is good. He got up there in the top 15. Jeez. Voice acting managers. Look at me. But Steve Erceg, great performance. I gotta give it to the dude, man. I mean, there's some new blood in that flyweight division for the men. I'm excited for it, and I think he's a great addition to it. Dvorak, man, he's kind of the gatekeeper. Eric Anders, wish you could have won, my dog. Dan Ige versus Nate Landwehr, great fight. Dan Ige. I don't know. I don't know whom he should fight next. That's a tough one. I don't know. If Ilya Taporia loses, that might be the move. Or loser of Emmett Taporia. I think that's a good one. Mike Malott, this dude is legit. He knocked out Mickey Gall on the Volkanovski card when he fought Zombie, I think. When I saw that, I'm like, oh, this dude's legit. I know it's Mickey Gall, okay? The dude's a world-class jiu-jitsu guy, but on the feet, he's not that great. But he put him out. Adam Fugit, he's not a bum either. But Mike Malott, man, give him some top 15 action. The champion has his name, and his name is Charles Dubrox Oliveira. It is Islam Makhachev, but I think this gave me faith that Charles will regain the title. Beneil Dariush, he was punching more octagon than Charles on the ground, low key. But I love Beneil, so I'm not going to trash on him that much because I love Beneil. He's great on the. I wanted this to stay on the ground longer because Beneil is I think he's a no-gi brown belt world champ in jiu-jitsu. And Charles is just he's the best submission artist in UFC history. I wanted to see more ground game instead of ground pound. I want to see like going for submissions and stuff. That would have been awesome. But Charles Oliveira knocked him out. Yeah. Here's my thing with Charles Oliveira. I don't think he punches hard. He's just so technically fluid that he just knows where to put the punch. Like I've never thought once like, oh my gosh, Charles Oliveira can crack. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm in the minority there, but that's just my opinion. Okay. But we have to give Nunes her flowers. Mrs. Nunes, man, dude. Watching her fight, it's the same thing with John Jones. You realize you're never going to see something that great again. And guys, she's not coming back. She was very content with her decision, clearly. And you got to be happy for her. She is the best women's mixed martial artist of all time, and it's not even close. Not you, Juliana Pena. I'm going to get to you when I hop off this, when I stop sharing my screen here. But Renee Aldana, it's not that she didn't show up; she just got outclassed. Like Amanda Nunes just every one of her opponents. Like she did to Pena the second time. That was insane. But Amanda Nunes, greatest female mixed martial artist of all time, and it's not remotely close. You can't tell me anything different, and I am never going to believe you. Never ever. Um, so Juliana Pena, I think her delusion helps her. That is an insane statement. I know, but I forget. I think the Weasel said something like that. I like the Weasel. I don't know if you guys do, but she's so overly confident going into fights that like everyone goes into a man who is scared to fight, which I don't blame them. I truly don't. However, that's what helped Pena. Her utter I give this to her. Her utter belief in herself is phenomenal. Her self belief is phenomenal. Um, let's all right. Ooh, not breaking. Punahele Soriano is out of his fight against Cedric Dumas. Cody Brundage steps in. We got some matchups made, people. Big, big, big matchups. But one more thing. Amanda Nunes, the GOAT of women's mixed martial arts. All right. Zaglas Zumagulov has the worst luck ever. I think he got like his fourth fight canceled in a row or something like that. But anyway, Corey Sandhagen will fight Umar Nurmagomedov at UFC Nashville on August 5th. Banger. Kudos to Corey Sandhagen for going down in ranking to fight Umar. When he fought on I think his debut was on the Chiesa Magni card, if I'm not mistaken. Take a look at that now. Jeez, I don't know how I remember this stuff. Yeah, Morozov. That's who we beat. Boom Kelleher, Nate Manis, Hayoni Barcelos. But yeah, I'm excited for Umar. UFC Paris, Spivak versus Gon, September 2nd. Great fight. Pavlovich, I don't know what this does with him. I think he's got to wait for a title shot. That'd be dumb of him not to do so. Like, truly. I don't know if I'd be able to respect him if he just decided to take that fight because, dude, you earned your title shot. Why UFC? Are you trying to send Zombie into retirement? This Holloway versus Zombie at UFC Singapore. Great main event. Why are you doing this to my boy Zombie, man? I think his last one was like against Dan Ige 2 years ago. This will be the fourth time I've seen him fight. Yeah, that's a brutal matchup. Anyway, let's get to some news. Great stuff recently in MMA. Oh, Yo Romero, Vadim Nemkov Friday, and Sergio Pettis is fighting Pitbull on Friday as well. So those are two things to look forward to. Bellator, it's gonna be awesome. McGregor accused of sexually assaulting a woman in the game. I'm not gonna comment much on this. It's not something for me to comment on. It's a serious allegation. Um, I don't know. I mean, Connor also sent a dude to what is it? Oh, he sent the Heat mascot to the ER. Miami police is conducting an investigation. Here's my question: where are the security cameras? Uh, I guess it's all. Oh, they're investigating, so that question will be answered hopefully. Um. Okay. So, it's not MMA fighting. Um, there's a demand letter. Interesting. Um, Ariel Mitchell, the woman's attorney, uh, said that McGregor emerged from a handicapped stall and aggressively assaulted her, alleging forcing her to perform oral sex. He also allegedly attempted to rape her while security prevented anyone, including the woman's friend, from entering the restroom. Uh, the demand letter is introduced as regarding sexual assault, battery, unlawful restraint, kidnapping, intentional infliction of emotional distress, negative infliction of emotional distress, etc. It notes this firm has been instructed to explore all reasonable settlement offers to resolve these claims before they escalate further. In the event that you or your attorneys fail to contact this firm by 7 p.m. on June 12th, 2023, to discuss an acceptable resolution, we will assume that you do not intend to settle this matter and we will proceed with litigation. I'm not going to air out my personal business out here, but there's things that have happened to me that, you know, I would not personally settle. I'd rather want them in jail. So that's odd to me. Anyway, I'm not going to speak further. We'll wait until we'll see what happens. Odd. This is crazy. Anyway, really odd. It's really it. There's nothing much has been around, but I'm glad to be back. Let's take a look at some upcoming events. Next week, Tapoyer versus Emmett. Oh, I don't know if I think you guys know on this podcast, Tapoyer is my favorite fighter. It's not even close. If Tapoyer wins this, give him the next damn title shot. I don't care. Give him the next title shot. Then you got Strickland versus Magomedov. Then you got Volkanovski versus Rodriguez. Along with that, Moreno versus Pantoja, Whitaker Duplessis, Turner versus Hooker. Hold on. Oh, my eye. Bo Nickel versus Trayshawn Gore. Robbie Lawler's last fight against Nico Price. Great stuff. Then you got Holm versus Silva. Then you got Aspinall versus Tabora. Gaethje versus Poirier. Nurmagomedov versus Sandhagen. Sterling versus O'Malley. And on that card, you got Zhang Wei Li versus Amanda Lemos. Guys, this is awesome. Summer is going to be awesome. Yeah, so that'll do it for this episode of Throwing Hands. Thanks for tuning in. I know it's just me, and you heard me just ramble on for 30 minutes. But I hope you enjoyed it. We'll get Jared. I have a special guest coming on Monday. Good friend of mine. And yeah, when we come back, we're reviewing Fight Night, Vettori versus Cannonier. Peace out, man.